First things first, we are going viral. Jason Witten officially signed his contract yesterday to return to the Cowboys and then started to recruit former teammate Demarcus to nearby Staples. Take a listen.
Hey guys, look who I ran into. Talking a little bit of football. What's up?
See if we can lace it up.
Hey, I don't know. He's trying to get me. That guy's crazy. He is a nut. A nut.
Did you see what Demarcus wrote on Twitter about running into him? But one of them is, he said, who's wearing a suit at Staples at 7:30 at night? Jason Witten looked like he came just out the broadcast booth. That's his Monday Night Football apparel. What up, C? What up, C?
Wouldn't you love to know
Come
what
on,
they were both doing at Staples?
Well, I think Demarcus Ware looked like he was maybe shopping for some printer ink. That stuff's expensive, hard to install, runs out quickly. I don't really know what I feel like.
I think Witten was there getting some ink for his hair. Man, he got a lot of hair on his hair.
I already got
Good Lord.
I got you there.
Jeez.
I was waiting for you. I was putting it at the rim. I'm like, come on, see? Go ahead.
Time for stories to start your morning, Landon.
Like LeBron, I can't jump like I used to.
Was not tagged by the Giants earlier this week, and according to reports, they could have traded him for a first-round pick this past season. They did not make the move. However, Nick, what was your reaction to this report?
They knew what their cap situation was going to be coming up in 2019. They knew what Eli Manning was going to make. They knew their season was a disaster at 1-7 at the deadline. Getting nothing but a future compensatory pick, possibly, for Landon Collins, to me, is mismanagement. Even if you decide you shouldn't franchise him, you shouldn't extend him, you could have gotten more for him and something for him this season than a potential future compensatory pick in 2020. That's why that's my biggest criticism about all of this.
Yeah, you could have gotten something for him. If you're the NBA, wholesale change at the trade deadline, that's what they do. But this is the NFL. Now, we saw in the last 2 years, we've seen more trades in the NFL than any other history before. But that's not the way they do things. And that report, I don't believe that they could have gotten a first-round pick for him. Now, compensatory pick, they're going to get a third or fourth rounder for him. I think this is somebody else trying to hate on Dave Gettleman so people think that he doesn't know what he's doing. Gettleman, I'm with you, bro. Let that dude walk.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the Boston Celtics. They got a win over the Kings last night on a Gordon Hayward game-winning basket, but a nice start to their West Coast swing so far. 2 games, 2 wins. Nick, how big was this for both Hayward and the Celtics?
As a huge play at the end, because Gordon Hayward, it would have been a bunch of steps backwards after his great game against the Warriors, the 30 points. He only had 10 points, and he fouled Buddy Hield up 3 with 10 seconds left to put them in this position. So that game winner gave him 12 points. That's not the important part. It overcame his foul, hit a game winner, back-to-back best moments as a Celtic. The great game and then the game-winning shot.
Yeah, and they ran the final set for him. He didn't have a great game, but they ran the final play, and he takes a guy off the bounce and hits a fadeaway. That shot was not defensible. So that, to me, if you look at the reaction from the bench, that's people cheering for each other. So that plane ride, now 2 wins, 1 without Kyrie, big things for the Celtics. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going through the month of March.
All right, let's finish up on LeBron's accomplishment last night. Just a little recap. He passed Michael Jordan to become the 4th highest scorer in NBA history. And according to LeBron, scoring has never been his primary focus.
I've always been a pass-first guy. I've always, since I started playing the game of basketball and was taught by my little league coach and father figure, Frank Walker, he always said it's you get a lot more thrill out of seeing your teammates succeed. And that's how I was taught. I was taught to play the game the right way, get my guys involved, get my teammates involved. You know, when I was first started playing basketball, we had kids that was much smaller than me that couldn't get shots for themselves. So, you know, I would literally, you know, had to get them shots. We had one kid on our team that literally couldn't dribble. So I would get a rebound and actually roll the ball to him all the way up into the hole, and he would just pick it up off the ground and lay it in. And I got a kick out of that. So that's why it's so crazy to me right now that, you know, that's why it's so crazy to me just seeing, you know, where I'm at in the scoring of all-time greats in this game of basketball, because I've never been about scoring.
Nick, LeBron has been a pass-first guy. I learned that from you. So that being said, how unlikely is an accomplishment like this, a scoring accomplishment like this for LeBron?
Well, it stopped being unlikely maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago when you looked at where he was in the ranks. You looked at how healthy he had been. You're like, okay, if he just continues averaging 27 a game and he plays as long as he says he's going to play, this will happen. So it felt anticlimactic last night. We knew it was coming, and the Lakers having a bad season, all that. But if we just go back to when LeBron was drafted and the book on him coming out of St. Vincent St. Mary and his high school stat lines, like his high school stat lines are almost identical to his NBA stat line. In high school, he averaged 27, 8, and 6. In the NBA, he's averaged 27, 7, and 7. So he's always been a guy that is pass first to much of his criticism, much of the criticism of him throughout the early part of his career, even the championship they lost to the Warriors when they were defending champs. He passes to Kyle Korver in the corner instead of going for it. When the Game 1 of the NBA Finals last year, when they're down 1, he passes to George Hill for a layup instead of going himself. Hill misses the free throw, JR has the moment. So, but it is who he's always been. It is always about making the right play rather than making the play himself. And the statistical profile, if you look at the top 10 scorers in NBA history, LeBron is now 4th in scoring C and 10th in assists. The next highest in assists of top 10 scorers is Kobe, who's 31st. Kareem, as a center, is 42nd, which is remarkable. Jordan's the next highest at 44th. So nobody has ever had this combination of prolific passing and prolific scoring. It's the most unique part of LeBron's game.
Yeah, but there's no player ever, and give LeBron credit, but there's no player ever, because I understand, because LeBron was groomed that way. He also did have that skill set. But Magic Johnson is a pass-first player. All right, LeBron is the next version of Magic Johnson, where scoring was important. How many points LeBron averaged his first year? Oh, 21.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How many assists? 5. And then after that, it was lights out. I think he went to 27, 28 his second year. After that, like,
and it's been there throughout.
So for a person who couldn't score, his first introduction into the NBA, we see these guys struggling now. 9 points a game, 8 points a game. LeBron's first time, no college, 20 points a game. So LeBron has always been a scorer, all right? But he never let that become like his #1 gift. He never said, I want to be Kevin Durant. I want to be Steph Curry. Because of the Magic Johnson, because of the influence of how he was raised to play the game, he stayed true to that. But for us to think that he was never he's always been a prolific scorer of the basketball. He's just unselfish like no other great player that we've seen, and has a skill set that would lead to him being unselfish.
Nick, of all the things LeBron James has done, his resume reads like, where does this rank among his accomplishments?
For him, like, listen, in my eyes, I wouldn't put it in the top 5, like, because he's going to pass Kobe, he's going to pass Karl Malone. If he plays his full Lakers contract and doesn't have another significant injury, he'll pass Kareem. Like, passing Michael Jordan isn't a record; it's a place on a list. So, in my eyes, it's not bigger than the MVPs. It's not bigger than the championships. It's not bigger than the almost career-saving game in Boston, down 3-2 after the Mavericks disaster. But you listen to LeBron. LeBron will tell you this is his most important individual accomplishment to date. Because of what Michael Jordan meant to him, because of what Michael Jordan meant to an entire generation of basketball players, because LeBron has said it, man, that was called him his idol repeatedly. Like, to have a guy that you idolized and emulated, and now you're above him in what was his single best basketball trait, because no one would say Jordan was pass first. Everyone considers Jordan either the greatest or the second greatest scorer in the history of basketball.
Score or winning.
What?
Score or winning,
yeah,
like a champion. Those are the things.
Absolutely. And so, like, to be able to pass him on that list, LeBron went on and on and on yesterday talking about what this meant to him, how he wore the shorts trying to grow up, trying to look like Jordan, wore his socks, trying to be like Jordan.
Wore the number.
Everything. And so this is the guy he was, even though everyone has said he's Magic, the guy he was trying to be, at least as a kid, was Michael, which is why you saw the emotion yesterday. Why, for him, he says it's second only to the Cleveland championship.
Do you agree, CC, that this was not his biggest accomplishment, his most impressive accomplishment?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because if he doesn't have a championship, we don't have the type of celebration. If he don't have them 3 championships, if he didn't have them 2 in Miami, if he didn't have all that before he got to Michael Jordan, we would be discrediting LeBron. We'd be talking, oh, man, he's just George Gervin. Oh, he's just a scoring machine. Oh, that's all we would be talking about. I'm glad he's a champion on this day, because this is one of the few days that LeBron, he can drop his guard and talk about Michael Jordan, because the conversation is always, oh, who's greater, him or him? In his mind, Michael Jordan was not approachable when you're growing up. Now, I traveled with Mike. Mike and I are the same age. I understand what LeBron's saying. I've heard hundreds of players talk about it. Thousands of players who tried to emulate it. But there's only one who can really be compared to him. And that's LeBron James. That's why yesterday was important.
To your point, if he did it without the championships, anyone remember the celebration when Karl Malone passed Jordan in scoring?
Nope.
No. And he did it when Jordan retired. Malone was a few thousand points behind him. A couple years later, Malone's still chugging along, playing well. And it's okay. And I bet a lot of people this morning, when they're seeing these lists on Twitter, they're like, wait, Karl Malone is the 2nd leading scorer in NBA history?
Yep.
A lot of people don't remember that, don't know that, because without the championship credibility,
right,
scoring that many points is almost used against you. Like, you were that good for that long, you didn't peel 1 title, like, and so, fair or not, like, that is a thing. So right, Kobe's moment was an unbelievable moment. When Kobe passed Jordan, that team won 21 games that year. I think they were 7-16, but they had a celebration because Kobe was a minted champion.
Yeah, 5-time.
Right, a minted champion who truly idolized Jordan and
had the same skill set,
same style of play for sure. Like
crazy
Kobe.
When Kareem passed Michael Jordan. That was, I do remember that one. It was a joke. Coming up, we got to take a break. Why is one former?
I got people texting me like,
no, she knows how it works. It's chronology.
Okay.
Why is one former NBA star calling Kyrie miserable? That's next on First Things First.
I'm trying to get into the fake word club.
Year 5 up there.
Put that